Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to Get Hit with the Truth. So today we are continuing the True Boxing annual top 10s as we're going to look at my number 5 light heavyweight in the world right now, the former WBC light heavyweight champion, Oleksandr Gvodzyk. Now, before we get into that, if you could smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate any and all support that I can get as I continue to build my channel here. So Gvodzyk entered 2024 coming off of a 23 where he returned. I think he fought 3 times, but all against low-level competition. But he hadn't fought since I believe it was the end of 2018 when he was stopped against Artur Beterbiev as they attempt to unify belts in a fight that he was winning. And in my opinion, still the toughest fight of Beterbiev's career before the Bivol fight. Bivol was absolutely the toughest fight of his career. But prior to that, Gvodzyk had given him the toughest run of his career. And that's what got Beterbiev started as the top guy, or one of the top guys in the division, when he stopped Gvodzyk. So Gvodzyk took, 4 years off? About 4, almost, yeah, it was a little over 4 years off, and then returned and got 3 wins. And then out of nowhere, he signs on to fight David Benavidez in Benavidez's debut at light heavyweight. So he went in there, and Benavidez just looked great in the first half of the fight. He was just outworking, landing good shots, but Gvodzyk was just slowly getting into the fight, finding the timing. And in the second half, he did really well. He closed the fight strong. He showed a great chin. He was, figured out Benavidez's timing a little bit better. And it ended with a convincing decision win for Benavidez, no doubt, but Gvodzyk really gave a great account of himself against a guy thought to be the next big thing. I mean, he's a big name in Benavidez, and a guy that's been rolling over guys at 168. So for Gvodzyk, not really facing a top-tier opponent since Artur Beterbiev back in 2018, for him to put on that kind of performance, even in defeat, against a guy about 9 years younger than him in Benavidez, I thought that was pretty fucking impressive right there. So, Gvodzyk enters, he's still in the number 5 spot because of his strong performance against Benavidez. He was number 5 last year, but he was number 5 in a much weaker light heavyweight division. Now he's number 5 in a strong light heavyweight division. It's amazing how shit has changed in a year. 37 years old now, though. So, one has to wonder how much he's got in the tank, but considering he took all that time off, he had a long amateur resume. He hasn't had a long pro resume. So I think that kind of benefits him greatly, to where he's going to be able to fight later in the years. And I hope, he's not discouraged to where he's even thinking about retirement. He didn't fight the remainder of the year, but he's still very credible opponent. He's ranked number 3 in the WBC right now, and he's down at number 10 in the WBO. Now, overall, he's 20-2 with 16 knockouts. We don't know when he's fighting again. I'm hoping something gets announced soon. I don't know if Gvodzyk gets a title shot. I don't. This year, I don't think so. I don't think he gets a title shot unless he can get a crack at the WBC belt where he's highly ranked. But that's the thing, is you got the winner of Beterbiev Bivol. Even if they were to give up that belt, then David Benavidez becomes champ because he's interim champ, or Morel for that matter. And then, would Benavidez fight Gvodzyk again? I don't think there's really a need for it. So, I don't think Gvodzyk's going to get a title shot, but I do think he can work himself into a final eliminator. Albert Ramirez is waiting around to fight somebody, and he's highly ranked in all the governing bodies, and nobody with a name is talking about Albert Ramirez right now. But Ramirez, his highest ranking is number 2 in the WBA and the WBC. And with Dimitri Bivol fighting Artur Beterbiev on February 22nd for Undisputed, win or lose, Bivol's not going to be the number 1 guy anymore. So you very easily could see Albert Ramirez moving into that spot and them fighting in a final eliminator. So I think Ramirez, there's a strong chance Albert Ramirez fights either Gvodzyk or Anthony Yarde next, but Gvodzyk is available this year. Anthony Yarde is returning on the Conor Benn card against the Conor Benn, Chris Eubank Jr. card. He's fighting Lyndon Arthur for a 3rd time for whatever reason. That's the rumor right now. It hasn't been officially confirmed, but I think Gvodzyk and Ramirez make sense. And, you know, Albert Ramirez wants to prove himself. He's an undefeated fighter. And Gvodzyk, if he can knock off an undefeated fighter, maybe in 2026, he's lining himself up for another title shot. So, at the very least, I think somebody needs to take a risk on Gvodzyk in the WBC ratings and try to fight him and knock him off, because he's a great name to get on your resume, but he's also still very dangerous. So, it's going to be interesting to see what Gvodzyk does in 2025. I like Gvodzyk, though. I've always been a big fan of him, and I can't wait to see him back in action. So, that's it. That's what I got. That is my number 5 light heavyweight in the world right now, former WBC champion Oleksandr Gvodzyk. I hope as the annual True Boxing Top 10s continue. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.